Casey's Top 40 is heard in the 50 states and around the world every week on great radio stations like Fly 92, today's hottest hits, Albany, Schenectady, Troy, New York. Maximum Power, KQ 106, Hobart, Oklahoma. Climbing 2 notches to number 31 is the group No Doubt. It started out in the mid-'80s as a duo. Gwen Stefani on vocals and her brother Eric playing the accordion and keyboards. By 1992, when they released their debut CD, No Doubt had grown to 5 members. But last year, founding member Eric Stefani left the band, and now they're down to 4. This is their first Top 40 hit. The group No Doubt with Just a Girl.
Casey's Top 40.
I'm Casey Kasem. Well, now we're up to the group No Doubt, an alternative rock band whose career is marked by a remarkable coincidence. They were inspired and discovered thanks to madness. Now, we're not talking about the psychological condition of losing it. We're talking about the British pop group that scored big in 1983 with the top 10 smash Our House, the group called Madness. In the mid-'80s, singer Gwen Stefani's older brother Eric brought home a Madness single from the record store. It was an import called Baggy Trousers on a strange label called Stiff Records. And the first time Gwen heard it, she fell in love. She says, in high school, the only thing I was really into was Madness. She hung posters on her wall, bought all their records, and started dreaming about playing in a band just like Madness. Then in 1987, Gwen and her brother Eric met some other kids who liked Madness. Their common bond motivated them to form a high school band, No Doubt. And in time, they built a huge following around their hometown of Anaheim, California. Well, 5 years ago, in 1991, No Doubt got signed to Interscope Records. And it turns out that one of the executives at Interscope who discovered them is a man named Tony Ferguson. Who's he? Well, Tony used to work for Stiff Records in England, the same label that signed Madness. A mere coincidence in the life of a band that's now one of the hottest alternative rock groups around.
Casey's Top 40.
And that means we're up to the number 1 song in the USA on Casey's Top 40. It's by a band that was so devastated by the suicide of one of its members, they announced they were breaking up. This band from Anaheim, California got together in the mid-'80s and developed a loyal following at local clubs. Then, just before Christmas of 1987, founding member John Spence killed himself. John was the band member who gave the group its name. He was the group's high-energy frontman, doing backflips on stage during shows. Band member Gwen Stefani, who shared lead vocals with John, says, quote, "He really couldn't sing, but he could yell. He was really energetic. He was happy all the time. When it happened, it was horrible. It was awful." The band members weren't sure they could go on without John Spence. 2 weeks after his death, they kept an engagement at the famous Roxy in Hollywood, where an announcement was made that this was the band's last show. But as they began to deal with their grief, they realized that giving up was the wrong thing to do. John Spence had a vision for the band, which all the group members shared with him, and they decided to pursue that vision, to make John's dream come true. And 9 years later, they've finally done it. Their CD, Tragic Kingdom, was the best-selling CD of the holiday season, and this week a song from that album is once again the biggest hit in the land. The number 1 song in the USA on Casey's Top 40 is Don't Speak by No Doubt.
Gwen Stefani, former synchronized swimmer and current lead singer for No Doubt with Don't Speak. You found it, the spot for the hottest hits by music's hottest stars. Hot star Gwen Stefani is well known for her well-toned body, so you might expect to find her in a gym when she's not working. But Gwen says not always. Quote, "I'm pretty lazy. I love to sit around and watch TV and eat ice cream and be a slob, not work out." Up 3 notches to number 14, here's Gwen Stefani working out with No Doubt and Lady Saw on Underneath It All.
Casey's Coast to Coast.
Digging in at number 4 again is No Doubt, a band that's known for offering up-and-coming bands help with their demo tapes. They know how hard it was for them to get things right, and they figure they owe it to new bands. Here's No Doubt with It's My Life.
American Top 20.
Well, now we're up to an American Top 20 extra by No Doubt, a band whose singer says one of her all-time favorite jobs was helping strangers feel pretty. Gwen Stefani says, quote, "One of my first jobs was in a big department store in Orange County. I'd asked to be assigned to the makeup counter because I love working with makeup. My job was to apply makeup to women who just couldn't get it right." Gwen says it might have been a frustrating job for others, but she loved it. Quote, "Each face was a challenge. I'd study the pores and the problems. I'd choose all the right stuff and show the customer how to put it on. They'd tell me how pretty I made them look, and I sold a lot of makeup." Now, with an extra, here's Gwen with her band No Doubt and a song that sold a lot of CDs. From 2000, Simple Kind of Life.
American Top 20. Top 20.
I'm Kasem. It was last year that Gwen Stefani's record label arranged a recording session for her and hip-hop star Akon. But Gwen said she didn't want to work with anyone new, so she quickly canceled the session. Then Interscope's CEO called her up and said, quote, "You can cancel everything else in your life, but don't cancel this." The result was a song that ranks at number 6 for the year. Here are Gwen Stefani and Akon with The Sweet Escape.
Casey's Coast to Coast.